And let's start with what we covered so far regarding equation solving. I want to make sure you know how to solve this correctly once again. Remember, we talk about having fractions, right? Something like this. Okay? How many of you here would like to just solve it as is? Meaning you're going to move the 5, you're going to divide by fractions, you love fractions so much.
I hate fractions.
Okay, fine. So I noticed that you guys hate fractions. So we talked about clearing fractions before, right? Well, let's just make a quick case of this and make sure you get this correct. We have fractions. We do not like fractions. We want to clear fractions. Fine, I get it. But then we clear fraction by finding what first? Do you know? What's the first thing we have to find? The LCD, lowest common denominator. So I'm looking at 4. I'm looking at the 3. What is my LCD for 4 and 3? 12. So this is what you do next. I will take that LCD, which is the 12, and I will be multiplying to every single term. Do you know why I have to multiply to every single term? Because it is an equation. If I do something on one side, I have to repeat that same step on the other side. So that means this 12 right here will technically be distributed to every single term inside that equation. Okay? So let's teach you how to multiply correctly as well. Of course, when we multiply our fractions, here's our 12, and you know 12 is just 12 over 1, right?
Yes.
And our 3/4, this is 3/4. A lot of you would just do this. 12 times 3 is 36. 36 over 4 is 9. That's very good. It's correct. But then I also want to show you the other way as well. Here's the other way. Here's 12 over 1. Here's 3/4. What you should have done is cross cancel. Because I notice that 12 and 4, they're both divisible by 4. So if 12 is divided by 4, you have 3 left. 4 divided by 4, you get 1 left. And look, we simplify our problem, so now it's still going to be 9 over 1, or 9. Does it make sense? So you see the technique behind this, and I want to show that, which will help you in the long run anyway. So let's take a look. 12, cross cancel with the 4 will give you a 3. Then you multiply. 3 times 3? 9x. 12 times 5, that's easy. What's that going to get you? 60. And then 12 cross cancel with the 3 will give you a 4 times 7, 28. And I hope you're taking notes down, guys. This is important, right? If you have photographic memories, I do not care about it, but mostly you don't, right? So might as well just write something down so that you have record of it. So now, this is the part. This is the important part. You are the x. You want to solve for yourself. Like this is the unknown part that you want to solve for. You want to get rid of the 9. You want to get rid of the 60. The 9 is considered to be a what again? A coefficient. How do we know it's a coefficient? Because it is in front of the variable. And the 60 is considered to be a term. Now I talked about the rules about moving things that are farther away first before you get things to things that are close by. So 60 is farther than 9 is, right? So you move the 60. How do you move the 60? What is it? Okay, who said add? No one. Okay, good. Well, because this is add 60 and you want to get rid of it, you have to do the opposite of it, which means you are subtracting 60. Now, for those of you who just can't keep it straight all the time, what I really want you to do before you start solving any equation is write this. To get rid of a term, I only have 2 options, add or subtract. To get rid of a coefficient, I also have, okay, well, I can't spell that either. But coefficients, let me spell it correctly, I'm sorry. Okay, to get rid of a coefficient, I only have 2 options. What? Multiplying or dividing. Okay. Keep it there the whole entire time if you want to, so that you can always refer back to it. And if you really want to remind yourself what a coefficient is, just think it's a number in front of the variable. There. Okay? So now we've got it. We have 9 times x equals to 28 minus 60. Here's another part that people will most likely miss. You can't do it vertically for some reason. I don't know why. So if you can't see it like this, write it like this. Now, what's the answer? Negative 40. No.
42.
No. 32. Right?
32.
Right? Negative 32. Make sense? And then you divide by 9. Of of course, can we simplify, or that is our final answer? Okay, then we just write negative 32 over 9. Question on that one. So I'm following step by step. If you notice, I move the term over first, get it on the other side, family reunion in a sense, because all the numbers to one side, right? And then I have the variable with the coefficient there. I want to get rid of it because I want the variable isolated. This is coefficient, so I have two choices, divide or multiply. This is 9 times x, so I do the opposite, divide. Or you can also do the reciprocal if you want to. It's up to you. But that's the answer to that problem. Any question? Okay, so let's now make it a bit harder. Let's introduce to you now the concept of clear decimal. We talked about that before, but it's a good way to review it. Imagine I have something like this. 2.57x plus 2.5 equals to 9.1x minus 4.7. For instance, that's the problem I have. They're all decimals. Do you remember how to clear decimals? No. Okay, no you don't. Fine. Fair enough. Let's go back and ask yourself this question. If I have 2.5, what do I need to multiply 2.5 by to get rid of the decimal? 10. Ah, by 10. So that means it's going to turn to 25, right? Yeah. What if I have 2.25? How do I get rid of that? Why am I multiplying by 100? Yeah, because I look at the last place value of the digit, of the decimal, right? That is the factor to determine whether I'm multiplying by 10, 100, or 1,000. Just look at the last place value of the longest decimal number. So in this case, which number here has the longest decimal? 2.57. Very good. And what's place value is 2.57? 100. So logically, you would multiply everything by 100. So what I do now is I take that, multiply everything by 100. Okay? And if I multiply by 100, what do I have now? 257x, very good, plus 250 equals 910x minus 470. Question on that one. Okay, so you see the idea, right? And now, I look at this, I'm like, okay, I'm not too thrilled yet because I have my relative living on the East Coast, one living on the West Coast. Don't like that. I want to be reunited. If you notice, variables on each side, that's not a good idea. I want all variables. Remember, our thing is I want all variables to one side. That's our primary goal. So we have to decide. Who do you want to reunite with? You want a 910x over to the left, or do you want a 257x over to the right? You have to decide. I can't decide for you. You decide. Okay, so you want to move the 257x over to the right-hand side. What is your reason for moving it to the right and not the other way around? Yes? Very good. Usually, if you move this over, you subtract 257, right? Subtract it will still get you a positive back. But if you do it the other way around, where you subtract the 910x over, you get a negative number. And you know how it is with the negative. We just don't like negative stuff. We like positive, you know. So this is human nature. We love positive more than negative. So therefore, we avoid at all costs to get the positive if possible. If not, then fine, we'll deal with the negative. But that's the idea. Any questions so far? All right. So we move the 257x over to the right-hand side. So how do we move the variable? Notice what I said. How do I move the variable term over? See that? So because I mentioned the word term, I move this term over, and you'll have two options: add or subtract. And clearly, we have to do what? Subtract. So I subtract 257x over 257x over. This is gone on this side, and I have 250 equals to, what is 910x minus 257? 653x. Very good. Minus 470. And now, I have all my x reunited. I know I didn't have to solve for x. What do I need to get rid of now? Thank you very much. 470. Is that a term or a coefficient? How do I get rid of the 470 term? Very good. Opposite operation, so I add 470 over, add 470 over. This is gone on this side. And what is 250 plus 470? 720, right? Equals 653x on the other side. Okay, last step. What do I do? Divide. 653, 653. So then x is 720 over 653. Can't simplify. We can just leave it like that. Or if you want to convert it back to decimal, you can divide if you want to. But I'm satisfied with that one. Any questions so far? How to solve a problem such as this? Are we good?